All right, Chelsea fans, looks official. Chelsea are about to sign Filip Jørgensen. Here we go. All right, Chelsea fans, as we stated here, Fabrizio Romano with the here we go 24.5 million euro fee to Villarreal means the Danish goalkeeper Filip Jørgensen is coming to Chelsea. That's a 22-year-old goalkeeper with 1 year's experience in La Liga is gracing Chelsea and the Premier League next season. It looks like Fabrizio doubled down and said that he is on his way to the United States to join up with Chelsea for the preseason. I believe the medical has already been done. This is going to be a 6+1 deal to June 2030, plus an option until 2031 to be sealed. Super interesting, right? Chelsea, we've talked about this in our keep sell loan. It's now gotten to the point where it was being leaked to the media that Maresca did not like Petrovic. He had a knock, and so they decided they wanted to go get another goalkeeper, someone to challenge Robert Sanchez, who I think for some people is a bit of a shock number one coming into the season. Seemed like he always wanted Robert Sanchez to be his number one, and it was going to be a situation of getting a look at Petrovic to see what they want to do with him. Weird situation, right? You think back to 12 months ago, Kepa does the U.S. Summer Tour. Thibaut Courtois goes down, does his ACL in preseason, emergency loan to Real Madrid. Now we go out and get Petrovic, bring him into Chelsea, so it's Sanchez and Petrovic. 12 months later, after Petrovic played 23 matches, the majority of them, Sanchez is clearly the number two. A new manager comes in. Now Jorge's out. He's the odd man out. Why? Because he can't use his feet, allegedly. So what does this mean for this squad? Well, let's look at it. We got Robert Sanchez, who's going to be the number one, it looks like, this season. You got my man, Marcus Bettinelli, going to be the homegrown third-string goalkeeper, no doubt about it. What do you do with the guy who's 12 months into his contract? Obviously, Lucas Bergstrom, Eddie Beach, those are youngsters. So if Jorgensen comes in, you're not going to carry four senior goalkeepers. We even saw what Poch did last season. He'd have two goalkeepers on the bench. It's not going to happen. Petrovic is going to want to go. Are Chelsea going to sell? Are we already going to a loan? I mean, what do we do in this situation? Quite honestly, I don't know, mainly because I don't really know much about Jorgensen. I don't know about you, but I needed to go do some homework. And when I need to go do some homework, I go to the McLock app. That is right. So what I did here is I compared Jorgensen to Sanchez, but I pulled Sanchez back 2 seasons when he had his standout year at Brighton, right? This is back in the 2021-2022 season. Hey, back then, Robert Sanchez is a 24-year-old playing 3,300 minutes in the Premier League. I'll take that Robert Sanchez at Chelsea. Not bad. This is a strong radar. Now, comparing him to the blue side with Jorgensen, you got a 22-year-old with 3,200 minutes playing in La Liga. It's decent, right? It is decent. And I think as we look at the difference between Brighton of 2 years ago versus Villarreal this last season, very different teams, right? Villarreal scored 63, gave up 63. They leaked goals. 1.75 on average is what Jorgensen gave up. He played in 36 of the 38 matches. So we have a really strong, I would say, baseline of stats to go off of, even though it's only one season, right? Can we just call that out for a second? Time out. Again, the sporting directors love signing players after one season, right? You think of like Batty Shield was pretty much unproven. What about Carney, Chukwuemeka when they brought him in, right? You've got a history of them seeing a spark in a player and they go out and snap him. Again, we're talking less than 25 million euros for a goalkeeper. We all remember what we paid for Kepa. I'm just gonna leave that there. So this is a pretty low risk, but is he a backup or a future first teamer? That's what we have to figure out. So let's look at Jorgensen versus Jorge's season last season. So obviously Philip's got 1,300 more minutes, a lot more minutes played. Not a great radar for Jorge here, right? And again, he came from MLS to the Premier League. Like, full credit to him making that adjustment. And he was already playing over half a season before he came into Chelsea. So, like, nothing but respect for my guy here. Not a great radar, but I think you can also look back at Chelsea's season and minus the last 10 games, season was pretty crap. So again, is that all on him? No, probably not. But again, we're just comparing here and trying to see. So overall, we look at his radar. The number one thing you see is I go to X and I look for analysis and things like that is really, really good shot stopper, right? That's his big strength that he's going to be bringing to Chelsea. So I jumped in. I wanted to see what is X saying about this player? How can I learn what is going on? In Chelsea perspective, giving us 4 things that he thinks that Jorgenson is really, really good at. One, he says he's fearless. I tell you what, as a goalkeeper, you have to have fearlessness, right? You got to throw your body in front of the ball. You got to throw your body at people's feet. You have to be brave. So if he is fearlessness, great quality to have. I would say Robert Sanchez is fearless. He is a unit. He has no problem going in the air with an attacker. He's good. So even 1-to-1. Shot stopping prowess. Jorgenson led La Liga in the save percentage at 69.42%. Pretty good for a 22-year-old to go into La Liga and lead in save percentage, knowing that they conceded 63 goals. That's a lot, right? So if I looked at it, I think he's faced 205 and saved like 145 of them, something like that, right? He saved twice as many shots as our boy Petrovic did last season. So Sanchez comparison, I say Sanchez is a good shot stopper, not great. So if Jorgenson is truly great, he will have a leg up in that area. Number 3, ball playing skills. Isn't this what it's all about for Maresca? He needs a goalkeeper willing to take chances is what has been leaked to the media. So if this is true and he's around 50% accuracy for long ball, very loose connections, very loose commentary that he's like Ederson, where he's able to hit the long ball on a dime, can extend over the defensive line and jumpstart counterattacks and send people through, then great. I just would like to see it first. That's all. Now, Sanchez, distribution. Wow, we did have some scary moments last season when he was in there. No doubt about that. Overall, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll call it about even right now, except the edge to Jorgenson on shot stopping. So number 4, youthful potential. Again, potential. This is what the sporting directors love. This is what they buy is potential. Goalkeepers, you usually don't buy potential. He's 22. He genuinely could take 8 years to get to his best form. Are we going to wait 8 years for him to get to his best? Probably not. Jorgenson needs to get there within 2 years, or at least show significant progress in 2 years to continue to maintain his status at Chelsea and potentially the number 1. So I say youthful. Is that a strength? Not really for me. You know what's a strength for Chelsea? Being a proven top-notch goalkeeper that can be relied upon. That's the only thing that Chelsea needs this season is a reliable goalkeeper. We didn't have it last season. We didn't have a lot of things that were reliable, but he's 22. He's only played 1 senior season of football. We'll see. That's not the classic goalkeeper thing. I'm not saying it's a no, but this is kind of where we get to. So then I go to FB Ref, right? Just to kind of wrap my mind around this a little bit. And he looks really similar to Bernd Leno, except again, younger. So we're essentially buying on paper the same stats as a Bernd Leno, which, hey, at points, he was doing pretty well for Fulham, right? If for those of you that pay attention to Fantasy Premier League, he was in quite a few people's teams. Does Chelsea want a Fulham level goalkeeper coming in right now with the squad we have? Right? If we go back and look at the squad we have in goalkeepers, I think we were hoping we would recruit over Sanchez if we were going to go there, because it sounds like we just have a slightly better ball player than Petrovic coming in. Now, look, if you got nothing but money and you can throw it around, this kind of seems like a nice to have, not a need to have. I'm not saying we don't need another goalkeeper. What I'm saying is this really that big of a jump over Petrovic, who's also young himself? I don't know if I see it here. So here we go. We're going to have to sit and wait, see if he comes in. Again, Jorgenson last season, he saw 205 shots on target, saved 143 of them, putting him at 72.2% save percentage on FB Ref. He did see some penalties, which I think is important with this back line. Made some mistakes the past season. He saved none. But if you look at him again as a 22-year-old, he's got a frame on him, right? 6'3", not the tallest, right? 170 pounds, just a long, wiry frame. That's kind of where we see. One thing that he needs to do a lot better of, especially in the Premier League, is aerial challenges and set pieces. I did read that was a bit of a liability, and that's huge. Look at Poch's playing extra center backs as left backs and right backs just to get more height in the team, mainly because we had a short midfield. What's going to happen this season with Maresca, right? You think of City like to tactically foul. Maresca brings that in. If people just dump long balls in the box, especially late in a match, that's what the Premier League is about, that chaos. And that's not one of his strengths. So again, I'm still trying to marinate on this and figure out where he's going to fit in. Is a pure shot stopper? Great. But the Premier League is a lot more physical than it is technical. In a technical league like La Liga, a shot stopper is great. Aerial prowess, not really needed. In the Premier League, aerial prowess is absolutely needed. Less technical of a league, I would say. More pace, more power, faster tempo. He's going to have a big transition coming into Chelsea. So, again, I'm interested to see how this works out. I just don't see how it is de facto a massive upgrade on what we already have. So, again, looking at this, it looks like Jorgenson was on about 40,000 euros a week. So I was like, all right, well, how does this fit in now to the squad structure, right? They're going to give him a bump, I would imagine 40,000 to maybe 75,000. But I want to see what are the current players on? So I jump over to Capology, take a look. Kepa obviously crushing it with 150,000 pounds per week, 7.8 million annually. Then you got Robert Sanchez, who's at only 60,000 per week with 3.1 million annual salary. Marcus Bettinelli, a cool 35,000 per week with a 1.8 million annual salary. And then my guy Jorge, 25,000 pounds per week, 1.3 million per year salary. That's it. Look, in the grand scheme of things, he might as well be on youth player wages. And I bet I could go look for some and find some youth players that are on that. So even if Jorgensen comes in, let's just say 40,000 per week to make it simple. He's now above Petrovic quite a bit. They have more invested in him, paid 24.5 million. He's gonna be the number 2 at a minimum, right? So what are we gonna do with Jorge? You cannot have him sitting in the academy or as a 4th string goalkeeper this season. It doesn't make sense. Can Chelsea get a deal done before season starts? Plenty of time. Should, but now we really have to look at this and figure out where is this going to go, right? Sanchez still has 6 years remaining on his contract. Petrovic, 6 years remaining on his contract. And guess what? Jorgensen coming in with 6 years remaining on your contract. When you look at squad management, where do we go from here? You've got 3 goalkeepers on long-term contracts. Thankfully, none of the money is too crazy. Kepa, we're just coming off of that. And we're going to load ourselves up again. Look, we got to figure out where we're going to go with some of these players, because the other thing is if you invest in Petrovic, which again, the club are always going to brief that great player, still interested in one for the future. Well, now you have to go put him at loan and hope he develops while you wait for Maresca to leave, right? That's the whole game here, is you're keeping Petrovic in case the next guy likes him, because we know Maresca's not going to be here at this rate more than 2, probably 3 seasons, and we're going to have to shuffle the deck again. So the finances come into this. I think he's going to be close to what Robert Sanchez is on. Thankfully, it's not a huge issue in terms of money for these guys, but Chelsea's spending the bag a little bit right now. So overall, here are my thoughts. You have a young goalkeeper who had a good season in La Liga last season, but he's not a definitive upgrade on what we already have. Does he have the potential to be? Sure. He's an insurance plan. This is us gathering young players that even if they don't make it at Chelsea, will probably have a pretty good sell-on value in a couple years' time. That is exactly what we bought here. Hedging for the future, grabbing a player now who they think will be worth more later. Is he going to help us win today? Again, I don't think so. I don't know. Continuing to stack youth when we need experience, especially in the goalkeeper position. It is the number one place you want an experienced player, and it does not matter if the rest of your field players are under 25s, like the sporting directors are trying to build. The goalkeeper is your free hit. All right. A 30-year-old goalkeeper is a 25-year-old outfield player. Go get someone that is a 100% upgrade. Jorgenson on paper isn't it, but I'm excited to see what he brings to the U.S. Summer Tour. Let's get him some minutes early. Let's see what he's got. And unfortunately, Petrov is going to have to find a new place. That's the only way I see this playing out as it stands. Let me know, who do you think is going to be Maresca's number one goalkeeper against Manchester City in the opening match of the Premier League season? Let me know. And if I missed something on my analysis, put it in the comments. I will gladly come back and revisit this. But anyways, more signings, it looks like, going to be coming this week. So keep your eye on our friends, those journalists. But until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.